Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Women's History Month interview series. I have Dr. Hill with us. I'm just going to start this by asking if you can just state your name, the institution you're connected to, and your affiliation with the MMPC.
Sure. My name's Jennifer Hill. I'm a professor in the Department of Physiology and Pharmacology at the University of Toledo College of Medicine and Life Sciences. I also serve as Associate Director for Basic Research in the Center of Diabetes and Endocrine Research, or CEDAR. And I interact with MMPC through the broader Michigan Diabetes Research Network, which CEDAR is a part of. So over the years, I've benefited from its metabolic research resources, consultation, and training opportunities for my students.
Amazing. Okay, so the first question I have for you is, did you have any examples in the space of research, science, or just even in the current field that you're in? Did you have any examples for you growing up of people that did this, that inspired you to be where you are today?
Sure. So I'll give you a couple of women who really had a big impact on me. So I'd always been interested in animal behavior since I was a little child, and when I got to high school, I had a biology teacher named Mrs. Meese, and she had come to teaching after a career in infectious disease, and she told us amazing stories of going around the world doing research, and I was really inspired by that. And then I got to college, and I worked with Dr. Heather Williams, who was another amazing role model. She really embodied work-life balance and had a really strong research program, world famous. And I also was really encouraged because she said she could definitely see me as an academic researcher. So that those two folks really got me started on this career.
I love how you actually had women examples. Obviously, with this being Women's History Month and us highlighting the impact and the work of the women specifically who have been affiliated and associated with MMPC, I just love how the examples that you had in your life really showed you that it's possible. So that's absolutely amazing. What role has working with the MMPC played in your career thus far?
All right, so our work benefits from being connected to a research community that takes metabolism seriously at the whole animal and systems level. So the value of the MMPC and the broader Michigan Diabetes Research Network is that they bring expertise, infrastructure, and a collaborative mindset in a way that strengthens our research across institutions.
Have you experienced like a positive kind of collaborative experience with MMPC?
Definitely. One of the strengths of the community is that it brings together people with very different kinds of expertise. So in my case, our lab has strengths in neuroendocrinology, reproductive physiology, basic metabolic phenotyping. But the MMPC has enabled us to combine that knowledge with more advanced approaches involving like live animal neurocircuit manipulation and imaging techniques, and that has really added a lot.
What's one thing you've done in your career that your younger self would be proud of?
So I think my younger self would be proud that I built a strong research program around questions I genuinely care about. And also that I've been able to mentor students and trainees along the way. So science isn't just about producing data. It's also about training people to think clearly, ask strong questions, build their skills. And I care a great deal about that part of the job. And seeing trainees develop into independent scientists is a really meaningful part of academic life.
Has any of the trainees reminded you of yourself when you were coming up early in your career and even in your educational journey?
Yeah, I always see a bit of myself in my trainees. Some may have just sort of fallen into this work because they'd never considered another career. Some of them maybe had aspirations to go into medicine, which was not my story, but I just love seeing how they fall in love with the research once they've got their hands into it. I really enjoy seeing the different facets in each of my trainees.
How do you measure success in this field as a woman? Because a lot of times we obviously see that, especially leadership roles are male dominated, for sure. And so how do you gauge success?
Yeah, I think success does include scientific contribution, but I would not define it just as grants or publications. I think success also means using your position to create opportunities for others. In scientific settings, you're right, women are well represented at some stages of training, but less so in leadership. So part of success is not just doing good science, but also helping to make the field more accessible to people coming after you.
I love that you have been amongst the other interviewees that have spoken about success really equating to the impact that you end up making and essentially being able to reach your hand back for those to be in these same positions that you all are in. So I think that younger people would be very appreciative of hearing people like yourself give this perspective. The last question that I have is, what's one piece of advice that you would give to a young woman in STEM today?
I think my advice would be to not be intimidated and to dream big. So learn the most powerful techniques and pursue the most important questions you can. Don't assume you need to fit into a narrow model of what a scientist is supposed to look like. If you approach your work with rigor and persistence, you can build a meaningful career on your own terms.
That was amazing. And then I know I said that was the last question, but do you have a piece of advice that you received that changed your perspective and outlook?
Great question. All of my mentors have been really encouraging, and I think persistence is what I learned from them. There are always setbacks, but as long as you get up and try again, eventually something works out. So I think that's what I really benefited from.
I love it. Keep going. And that honestly applies to anybody in any career path that they are taking. Well, I thank you so much, Dr. Hill, for taking the time to talk on this specific subject and just such a great conversation and an awesome perspective that you gave. Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.